Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins meet April 3rd, 2010 for a rematch, 17 years after the original fight, where Jones, now 41, won by a unanimous decision against Hopkins, who is now 45. It's once again April 3rd, Saturday at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it'll be live on pay-per-view.
Well, it's going to be different. It's going to be on him. It's going to be smart, and it's going to be an execution. You know what I mean? The style that we're going to put together, the fight Roy is going to be more than one. Roy Jones is good and adjusting to one particular style. He knows me very well, I believe, and I know him too much. And so at the end, I think that somebody's going to have to give, and it won't be me.
He told me he's going to knock you out.
I mean, I've been boxing 20-something years. I heard that a lot, but it doesn't scare me. It just shows that if he means what he say, then we're going to have an exciting fight that some people is going to be shocked about, justified or unjustified. But at the end of the day, I just want him to live up to what he say, because I don't want to really look like a bully in there. And I don't, because I know that the better Roy Jones fight, the outcome of the fight would prove to people that I didn't fight a shell of a Roy Jones Jr. So if he says he's going to knock me out, and I take your word for it, then great, fine. Then I understand that this is going to be a fight where Bernard Hopkins always comes out, well, 90% of the time, with his best, and he looks better when he's fighting a person of Roy Jones or a threat status. So I'm ready. I'm pumped, man. I got 17 years of build-up in it, man. You ever try to talk to a girl and you never could get her ear? And eventually, you know, 5 years went by and you finally see her in the supermarket, and she said hi for the first time. You're not exciting yours. I mean, everything got to, you know, not rise up. It got to stay down and make sure that you know, get a number, at least, without jumping the gun. This is that type of flip side of it.
She may be fatter.
Well, then you look the other way, of course, and you say, hi, you know, I remember you from high school, blase, blase. You look good, really she don't, and you keep going.
You've talked a lot about how you've changed. How do you feel that Roy Jones has changed?
I think Roy Jones has changed in a way of not being as elusive as he was. I mean, he still has the flashes. He still has good speed, because to me, he had speed that was not normal. So now he's normal, but he's still fast. And so when you take a guy and you say, okay, what did he lose? From my perspective, I look at a lot of things. I look at his legs. I look at his reflexes. I look at the things he did. And the only way you'll be able to do this, if you get two TVs with two VCRs, or now DVDs. I'm telling you my age, VCRs. And you watch Roy Jones at 60, at 68, at light heavy, and then you watch Roy Jones at, he never fought a cruiser, yeah, we'll say cruiser and say small heavyweight. And that's how I analyze fights. I tell people, I say, I don't try to think about what he fought like in the 90s or the 2000s. I take two TVs, two DVDs, when Roy was Roy, and was Roy's the older Roy, and that's the better. I'll be like, I see so many things that way. That makes sense to y'all? You can see, I mean, look at your before pictures. Look at your high school pictures. Look at yourself now. You're up your insurance. You'll think you're ready to check out of here. But at the end of the day, that's how I, not only for Roy fight, but I don't think it's a secret. I'm letting y'all know, when I look at fights and I'm at this stage where I'm fighting a guy that's a veteran, I look at the old, and I look at the new, and I look at considered veteran or old.
Do you like him or dislike him?
I don't like him. I respect him. And that's because I have to, because I can't walk in a situation knowing that a guy got credentials. The guy got credentials. And a coward can hurt you, and a coward can kill you. That's that street mentality I got. I don't have to love him, but I can respect him to the point where I know that I got to come 100% of what I say I'm going to do, I got to do. I can't mess around. I can't take a light on him. I can't feel sorry for him. I can't get conned. I can't think that if I'm hurting him because his last two fights, I don't care. I have to go in there like Roy Jones Jr. and I went in there 17 years ago to do what I have to do, and that is, and will do, and that is KO Roy Jones Jr. in his career. And someone give me props for it, and someone said, oh, but I'll move on. And then, you know, and boxing moves on. But this is a personal get back. I take from the Danny Green loss that a guy of Roy Jones' status, it could have been me, didn't get the opportunity to tell you why, didn't get the opportunity to show why that Roy Jones Jr. Has been great in at least a decade and a half, and he should have had that opportunity based on looking at the footage right after I got done with my fight. They stuck a TV there and they let me see it. To me, it was a premature stop. He got up. He did the Roy that Roy did 10 years ago. Hold his hands on the ropes. He did that in the middleweight. He did that in the light heavy, in the cruiser. The super middleweight. That's Roy. He'll let you bang, bang, bang. He'll pick shots. So he can catch you. Want you to get some steam off. Hopefully, you run some punches. He just catch him. Then he comes on. That's not strange to me. If you've been watching Roy Jones like I've been watching him, I think I know him better than his parents. I kept my eye on him. Why? Because as you reported, as most people here, I've been trying to get Roy Jones for the last 10 years.
Why now?
Why now?
Why not? Is it the timing?
No, I'm going to tell you, that's a great question, because I'm going to ask why now first, and then the timing. The timing don't have anything to do with it. Remember, I was trying to get him before. I have more to lose than Roy Jones. Would you agree? I have more to lose than Roy Jones, based on what people's perception is about Roy Jones, the knockout, the dandelions. Am I right or wrong? I've never been knocked out. Last time I've been knocked down was in Segundo Mercado in Quito, Ecuador, 1994. Now, this fight, why now, is because timing dictates sometimes to us that we're not in charge, that HBO is not in charge. When things supposed to be happening because we want it to happen, don't necessarily has to be the case. Hey, Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. We talking about blood and $40 million a piece, split. That didn't happen. We try to be in control, most times we are, but every now and then this stranger to y'all, but not to me, well, I ain't gonna say y'all, to people, comes out and make things different that somehow we scratch our head and try to figure out why. Ask them. I know why. It's bigger than me and you and anybody in this crowd right here. If it's meant to be and it's time to happen, it's time to happen. And now, and I think, if it was up to me, which is not, I'm not in control of everything that goes on in boxing or even in my own life, because things happen where I didn't expect to happen, and I got to deal with it. That's part of living and dying. But now, I think, is one of the times where we both in our 40s, we both are Hall of Famers, 80+ years in experience. How often do we get that in boxing when we see legends that's way past their 30s? You've seen it in the 80s when we had the great 80s, when we had the, Hearns and Leonard at Caesars, right? Hearn and Leonard had the white shorts with the candy cane stripes. I remember that. I was a teenager watching that like, yo. Remember that fight? They both was past what? 4-0. Tell yourself this. When the last time you seen two 40-plus-year-old Hall of Famers get together and duke it out on a respectful level? Not on a disrespectful level. You know what I'm talking about, disrespectful. I'm talking about on a respectful level where, something can happen in this fight. This is that type of fight. To me, this is that type of fight. And I know I don't want to look like a bully.
Prediction
so I'm trying to urge him on to do what he said he's going to do.
Prediction.
60% of revenue of the promotion.
No, your prediction.
Another $1 million. Knockout.
You knocking him out?
I got to. I won't get paid. It's redemption, baby. It's big payback. I ain't gonna tell you my theme song. I think you already know.
Early or late? Knockout.
Well, first he ain't gonna let me get him late because he's gonna try to cover up and hopefully he can get some shots in while I bang him around the ribs, bring him around the side, then I pull him out a little bit, just take a step back and say, no, come on out here. And then if he stays there, I gotta come in and deal with him. 6 rounds, 7 rounds, you'll see, Roy looking like he ready to go out of there.